it. But this brings up a topic, which is that the ABS system starts in earnest this spring training, Marcus. And the idea is if a player wants to challenge a ball or a strike call, they can simply tap their helmet or whatever the signal is. I think you get, 2 a game or whatever it is, and you can keep them if you win them and da-da-da-da-da. Let me explain something to you. I hate this with every fiber of my core. I hate it theoretically, I hate it in practice, and I hate it in spirit as well. I do not need this at all. And furthermore, this is the part that actually makes me most mad, Bergie. Whenever we decided that the accuracy of the K-zone was the most important thing in the history of baseball to the point that we had to just start banging out robots and do it, I'm like, what? Like, this is part of the game. I get it. There's been some big spots where things have gone wrong. There's some obvious examples. But the clear solution to bad umpiring is better umpires, not AI. This drives me nuts. These dorks who seem to tell me, well, if we were starting baseball over and building it from the beginning, we wouldn't have humans calling balls and strikes.
Why not?
What? What are we, tech bros?
Wait, Marcus, you don't like the robot umps?
I do not.
Oh,
I hate the idea. I hate the application. I hate what it could turn into. Robot umps are not the solution to anything but to weirdos who think we live in a simulation and aren't humans actually playing a sport.
I am only grudgingly accepting the existence of instant replay in sport.
Oh, I don't
like
want
that to me is like I stopped arguing it the way I stopped arguing that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Like some point,
yeah, the wave was too strong.
At some point, I just had to let it go. But no, I still believe the game is enjoyed by humans. It is played by humans. Why should it not be officiated by humans? Like, why not?
This guy just really wrote me, Greg. He says, human error causes more fan frustration than anything. It makes the game gray. If you remove human error, it makes the game cleaner, more black and white.
No, it doesn't.
My guy!
It does not.
The gray is the fun part.
I don't disagree with that.
No, you don't.
It is.
Yes,
you do.
I do. Yes,
No, you
yes, I do.
don't, Greg.
You
I'm
can't tell me what I
telling
agree
you.
and disagree with.
No, because what I'm saying is this. It has not been applied in ways yet that have gone too far. And once it goes too far and you can't get it back, you're going to realize, damn, this sucks. That's the issue.
All I know is that if I see, like when Justin Turner was here, right? He's staying there. He's up close on the plate, and an outside strike, outside ball is called consistently a strike because he's closer on the. And this umpire's zone is different from this umpire's zone, and it's so crazy. And let's say it's the bottom of the ninth, and you have bases loaded, down by 3. It's a 3-2 count, and some umpire decides a ball that's in the dirt is a strike. It's nonsense. You can't even argue it.
Yes, you can.
No, well, yeah, but you get kicked out. He's not going to change it. You can't go to instant replay, which I would not want anyway. It's nonsense.
Like,
I
would remove the K zone from off the screen
Fine.
watching games.
That is maybe the biggest
That was
issue.
the start of this problem.
That's the biggest issue is having
People
the
who are
K zone.
obsessed.
I'm
it's got to be exact.
fully on board with robot umps.
Go back,
Go
back and watch a game from the 80s before there was a K zone, and there are a lot of pitches that are borderline that you're like, oh yeah, I can get down with that because there's no box there that tells you that it is or is not a strike.
It's not the borderline pitches. It's the ones that are like 6 inches, 8 inches,
So
9 inches
what?
off the plate. It's 9 inches off the plate, Clinton.
Again,
like it's ridiculous that you even think that is a strike.
Okay, but again, you haven't answered my
nonsense.
question. So actual what? You know what I'm saying?
It changes everything. A ball. If there's a ball 9 inches off the plate,
You're using one example of one pitch.
No, it happens more often than just one time. But even if it's like 4 inches off the plate, who cares? Whatever the number that you feel comfortable with, that number. It changed it. If you're in 1-0 opposed to 0-1 is two separate things. How you approach an at bat. And if it happens twice and now you're down 0-2, you have to swing away and it ruins the whole at bat.
To me, that's what the game is. That's why you play the game.
We watch them to get
There's
hits.
a separate discussion.
We watch to get strikeouts.
There's a separate discussion to be had here that's more about the youth level of the game, and I think how this kind of imprints on that, which is sort of a larger thing. For me, what baseball really is a game that you play to sort of understand and learn the process of failure, the process of teamwork, the process of repetition, and how that sort of makes you a better person and player. And when we psychologically exact ourselves to only the purposes of rules, it kind of changes the entire nature of why anybody does it. Like, I don't need to solve for perfection in most places in my life. I just don't. That's not how I envision being an alive human who enjoys other humans.
And I think you saying perfection, that was the thing. That's the thing that I get at here, is that it is an imperfect game played by imperfect people. To expect
as we live on an imperfect globe,
to expect perfection out of it, I think it's unreasonable.
It turns it into something it's genuinely not for me, Greg. And the other part about that I was saying on the human factor is that when you grow up and you play ball at certain levels as you go up, like who the umpires are as people and how they sort of teach the game whilst also being a part of the game, whilst not being entirely in it when you're a player on the field is important, man. It is a vital part to the development of youth ball is how you are able to interact with umpires, which is why you see so many umpires dealing with parents who want everything to be perfect by saying, I'm out of here. This is not what it's about. And there's
the umpire
a huge
isn't
part
going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're still going to be behind the plate. They still have to call plays at the plate.
It changes the nature of the relationship with what the catcher is doing and what you can. It changes too much, too quickly to overcompensate for a couple of bad umpires. Get better umps.
Okay, fine. Get better umps, but they're in a union. Angel Hernandez was in this league for 25 years, and he was awful.
It is a more worthy and
Cowboy
necessary
Joe West
cause.
was awful.
It is a more worthy and necessary cause to get better humans than it is to have AI and robots take over human jobs.
I would also say that I think when you look at the average of umpires, their success rate or the rate of being correct is still in the mid to high 90%. That's damn good.
It's the consistency portion of it. No, yeah, but
here's the thing. I'll take consistency.
It's like 90%.
It's consistently 93%.
But at least here's the thing. I will take you calling it 3 inches off the plate as long as you're always calling it 3 inches off the plate. If I know that, then I make my adjustment when I go to the plate.
I think that's part of the problem, though. They're not consistently calling it 3 inches off the plate. If that's the case, I totally agree with you. If it was consistently the same call from that umpire, totally with you. But it's not. It'll be 3 inches off the plate. It'll be 3 inches high. And then it's going to be 3 inches low. And then it's going to be over there. They're all over the place.
That's fine by me.
It's not.
That's what I'm saying is that this is part of the
game has evolved too much to be able to do that.
I think
gambling has evolved.
Yes,
too, that's what it is.
This is what I'm
gambling
saying,
has
man.
evolved.
I don't gamble.
If you want everything to be exact to the specifications of a computer, play a video game.
So it's not about, and again, it's not about those borderline calls, the ones that are on the line or just off of it. That totally understandable. It's the egregious ones.
That's fair.
There's so many egregious ones, and that egregious ones move all around the place.
Are there so many egregious ones, or has the K zone made us rethink that?
Thank you. We have been trained to believe that the perfection of the strike zone is more important to the fabric of the game than it actually is. That is my genuine belief. Because here's the deal, is that once you get too far down this road and everybody has accustomed themselves to the idea that it has to be exact for anybody to think that it's real, that's a problem for me. And it changes the nature of how you play the position as a catcher. It changes the nature of how you scout the position as a catcher. And it changes the entire, thus, nature of the game through something that is earnestly, to me, not that important. I'm only really yelling because I was yelling on TV. I'm not that mad about it.
I know, I'm not really mad about it either.
What I'm saying is, for me, I just don't like the mentality behind it. I don't need it to be that exact to enjoy it. In fact, the reason why I enjoy it is because it's not that exact. That's why I like baseball.
So shocked by you, Marcus. I really thought you were on my side.
I've always been a human error guy for most everything. Yeah, I really do. I just think part of the fun of why we watch and why we do this is in the arguing, right? It is in the
yes.
What if this had happened? What if this didn't happen? I think that's part of why we do this.
And for all the Andres Galarraga situations, like whatever, he got the no-hit stolen from. I get it. That happens. But you're telling me that overcorrecting an entire system so that you screw up the entire relationship between the battery because a couple of guys have Twitter websites that point out every single pitch that an umpire gets wrong, that is a wild overcorrection to me. By a lot.
You go look at those websites like Ump Show and all those other ones because you're watching the game like, God, this is awful. Let me go look and see how bad it was. And then you see how bad it was, and you go, God, it's confirmed. It's confirmation bias, I'm sure.
But I'm sitting here watching this Dodger game, though.
Post
and
there's
no K-zone up, right?
This is why I love college baseball. They don't have K-zones on the daggone screen all the time. Guys are just playing because they like playing baseball. They don't need to be right all the time.
That part too.
Anyway.
Do you like this new automated ball strike system that they're going to be implementing?
Yeah, give me some more time to watch it.
Yeah? Okay.
Give me some more time to watch
Well,
it.
it's interesting because they're
I
trying.
don't like any delay in the game.
Okay.
I'm not a
If
big
it slows
fan
down
of
the
it.
game, you don't like it.
Yeah, I want to see the rhythm of it. I want to see that, I've heard it was whoever was on the show before as I was driving here, I was listening
Clint
to
Yates.
and they talked about tennis and but it happened like that in tennis. Bam, you see it. Any other sport, and one of the hosts I think was griping about I don't want this in baseball. I want the mistakes. I want this, and I'm like, I don't mind mistakes. But if we can clear them up quickly and there's still a rhythm and an entertainment value to the game.
There needs to be a limit to how much you look to clean up.
Because I love what the NFL did, right?
Right.
The NFL with this quick replay stuff and the help, and bam,
Right.
they've got it already. We don't have to wait. And
Yeah.
run over to
Yeah.
the camera and run over to watch it.
Yeah, 'cause
When it's obvious, boom, boom, let's move on. I'm
yeah,
with you there.
I like that. And
Yeah,
so the strike ball thing, it could be that way too.
You want to keep it moving because it's like, okay, if you have this automated ball strike system and in theory you can get everything right, then either just use that and I guess give the umpire some type of different supervising role or whatever and just use the computers to get everything perfect. Or you have to really limit the idea of how many times you can use this new system.
Do you really want to watch the video of the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand and seeing if it hits the strike zone? Or would you rather the hitter, the catcher, or the pitcher challenge, and the umpire has like a vibrator or the scoreboard has a light, and immediately everybody knows, bam, there it is. Now we keep moving. Bam. You don't need to see the video.
Oh.
We know
Yeah.
they've seen it. So that time of watching the flight of the ball and, look how it caught the strike zone, the challenge is good by the hitter, I'm not sure that's a good delay.
Tennis is pretty quick when they do those.
They do it.
It's instant.
If it's that
is.
if
It's
it's that
instant.
fast, then sure, I don't have a problem. I was going to ask you, have you in your career, how many times did you throw one that you knew was a strike that got called a ball?
I never threw a ball in my whole career.
There you go. There it is. But wouldn't you
I mean,
love
the
to have a
system wasn't
challenge?
needed for you, or
Yeah.
for just mortal pitchers.
The challenge is you just kind of stare down the umpire. Some guys would yell at him and get kicked out, but yeah.
Did you ever get
My
tossed?
nickname from the umpires was called the surveyor.
The surveyor?
Yeah, because I would kind of take a step back, and you couldn't now with the pitch clock, but I would take a step back off the rubber and just kind of stare in, like really?
Did you ever get tossed?
No. Well, yeah, I got tossed as a pitching coach, and it was the only time I was ever tossed in a game ever, including all the way back to Little League, high school, and college. I got tossed by a guy who brought a girl to the game and wanted to impress her. And he tossed me out of the game.
Oh.
And the next day, I got letters from the league apologizing, and I'm not sure he ever saw the big leagues again. He got sent down.
What did
day.
you say? What did you do?
So I was a new pitching coach for the Texas Rangers. The manager was Buck Showalter, and R.A. Dickey was pitching on the mound, and we had taught him the knuckleball, and he was doing really well, but he weren't getting the strikes that night. So I said, I'm going to go to the mound. And he said, Buck says, no, I got it all. I go, no, let me go. He goes, okay, let me tell you what to say. Just wait for him to come out, make sure R.A. knows we're not out there for him, and say to the umpire, is this the strike zone we're going to work with tonight?
Okay. Yeah.
So I jog out there. I tell my infielders and RA, hey, no big deal. I'm just here to talk to the umpire a little bit. I turn slightly away from the umpire, and I just say, hey, I'm here to say something to you, and I want to know if this is the strike zone we're going to use tonight. He goes, boom, you're out of here. And I said, do you know what you just did? And he goes, yeah, Orel, I just kicked you out of the game. I go, you have no idea what you just did. I have never been kicked out of a game going all the way back to Little League. I am very close friends with a lot of umpires, and I've asked them, what would it take for me to get kicked out of the game? I can't say it on the air what they said, but it was something about taking your pants down and doing something. Then that's what they said you would have to do, Orel, to get kicked out of a game. So now the other three umpires run in, and they don't go to the umpire. They come to me and go, Orel, what happened?
Wow.
They're checking with me.
Wow.
Then I tell them what I said, and then they go over to him. Now Buck Showalter comes out. He's like going crazy. And so, yeah, it was a little different.
He did all of this to impress a woman.
Hey.
But I don't want to make a
I
comment.
I hope it worked out for him.
I think I've done that too, but I usually use flowers.
I would love it. By the way, I would love it if this woman, like, he comes home, she's like, you kicked Orel Hershiser
Yes.
out of
The
what is
first
wrong
time
with you?
ever.
No.
That's my
Ever.
favorite player of all
Oh, my
time.
His
God.
girlfriend probably said, "You know, everybody loves Orel."
Yes. Hold on a minute. Let me think about that for a minute. Okay, move on. I kind of like it. I hope we get to see.
It's the
Oh,
hip
my
surgery
God.
medication.